Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back. This is Rada Nelia, and today I'm here with Selma Harwell. We're going to be discussing motherhood and how it's honored as a source for world peace. This is a big, big subject. So welcome, Selma.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. This is
I'm so
really,
happy.
really great what we're doing together. Yeah.
Yes, and I would love for you to just speak on it, straight away. Motherhood is honored as a source for world peace. Let's get into that.
Yeah, I love the timing of this because when this first came to me was 2012, and it really has taken um, a lot, I'll say, well, over the years to begin to embody it, which is where what it feels like now that it was moving from the beginning. Um, And now it's really in a place of showing up in the world that I get to see the places that it already exists.
Hmm.
In one way, is the Dalai Lama saying, he's speaking of women and the Western woman, it was going to save the world. So, those kinds of things early on, the first year that it came to me, I didn't know that even in World War II, afterwards, the mothers came together and created Mother's Day. And it
Oh,
was actually about honoring the moms of the soldiers who had passed. So that was the beginnings of motherhood, honoring as the
hmm.
source of world peace. So it is up to us, and it has always been up to moms. And I say moms, but it is about motherhood, and that is about the nurturing that we all have within us as humans. So you see, whenever the masculine is in the place of the world as mm, the directness that they are, the kind of overtaking that they are, and
Hmm.
not even kind of. That's the way that it's showing up in the masculine world.
Hmm.
So for the feminine to embrace the grace that is available as our gifts of femininity
Hmm.
and have that power, not to overpower, but to stand in the strength of it as we already have that within us, and so do men.
Mm.
So, motherhood represents nurturing of humanity that is within all of us.
Yes, yes, I really think so. I mean, the men can also be so nurturing and embody that. My brother is such a great example because he's very, very masculine and very alpha in his energy. But when it comes to his son, I've never seen him so tender and loving, and he just inspires me so much the way that he is devoted to his boy. And I'm in awe, and I always joke that he's of course he has a beautiful wife, and but he really is like a mother father to his boy. He has a very special connection, and
Yes.
so I've seen it in men, and it's
Yeah.
actually the most beautiful thing to witness. And it's really about nurturing and
Mhm.
nourish. That's what mothers do, um, is create that loving, nurturing energy. And that's something also that's an archetype, right? The mother
Yes.
archetype. So mother archetype, you definitely have that archetype. So you bring it into your other projects and everything that you do. You have that beautiful, nourishing, nurturing, loving, embracing archetype. And I really think that's the elixir the world needs right now on a very bigger scale. We need that divine energy, the divine mother archetype. And and I think people are craving that, because for whatever reason, a lot of people aren't receiving this energy, right? How would you speak into that?
Yeah, how I would speak into it is that it really takes the recognition of it already existing. And for that, I have the quote from Einstein, who says, "You must acknowledge the miracles, because if you don't acknowledge them, then the miracles never happen." So
Ooh.
it's really helpful to begin to look, where do you already see it? So I love that you started with your brother. It's a perfect example. And I have a cousin that it makes me think of, that is that mm, close to his children. And the children are wonderful. They're lucky. The mother is also, they're just such a good pair. However, I recognize him as a mom dad.
Mhm.
And then I also have an interview with a friend of mine who was a first grade teacher. And I could tell by how he was, with just even speaking about his class. And he's the one that I started calling a mom dad out loud,
Mhm.
because I thought of it with my cousin, but then him. So these are places where it already exists. We already know men who are that way. And it includes women who have chosen not to have children.
Mhm.
The mothering instinct is there. And often, probably more often than not, it's with their pets, like you. Of course,
Yes.
Rada, that's where you fit in that way. And I know I also have a niece who, she had her pet, I think, for 15 years before she even thought that she wanted to be a mom.
Mm.
So when I mentioned to her that my daughter chose not to be a mom, um, ever since she was 9, and how much she loved her pets, she said that's where it starts.
Mm.
That was her experience. That's where it begins.
Oh.
The opening up, the need for the nurturing of someone, or a pet, some someone within the pet, whoever that is. The animals, connecting with the animals is also our connection to spirit.
Mhm.
So it just anything that causes connection,
Yes.
and then develops that nurturing aspect that is included in motherhood. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. I'm so grateful for all these amazing animals, and I'm grateful I get to pour my love into them. It's not that I don't want a child, because I do, but it just, you know, hasn't happened. So, for someone like me who has that longing, to hold a baby in my arms, then I have my fur babies.
Yeah,
Can pour into
absolutely.
them, and also I think the mother archetype also is a leadership role. So, like leading the
Yes.
publishing house, leading these author incubators, and nourishing and nurturing our authors to publications. And um, that's another way to channel that desire to love and nurture, because we have that innate desire within us. And if for whatever reason it hasn't been fulfilled in that way, we find ways that we can be of service, because a mother is really of service.
Yeah. Yes, that's for sure. And the way that you just brought in the leadership of mothers is really excellent, because there is the style of leadership that is masculine and direct, and there are women who have the balance of both, including the femininity to have a job be done well in a professional and extra kind way,
Mhm.
and direct as well, because
Yeah.
that's part of the skill.
Yes.
The directness must be there. So, yeah, I think leadership is also like being so present with another person that you're tuned into what is their development needed for them to flourish in whatever they've taken on.
Mhm.
And the person that in front of you, what is their particular place to put in what they need for their leadership role as well.
Mm, that's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And tell me more about how, how are you going to bring this message forward into the world?
Mhm.
What ways are you sharing this message?
Okay, yes, because my coming to motherhood happened very, very young. It was by 7 I knew that I wanted to be a mother, and it didn't come through playing with dolls. I wanted the real thing. and and so uh the interest was always there, and then combined with seeing that I was the healthy one in the family, I was also the middle child. So yes, the one that takes care of others and like that. And but by the time I really dealt with my own health first. I knew that I wanted to home birth. I knew that I wanted my health to be a priority. And
Mhm.
I was led to learn yoga at 21, and did it for so many thousands of hours within 10 months because I had that period. I didn't, to me, it was like I was guided in that way to just learn it from books, 3 books that existed, and didn't know um, that it was so long ago. There weren't studios yet. The first studio came in that same year, but I was in Maryland and it was in uh, Texas. And so that's how much guided I was to, I had already learned nutrition with a chiropractor, and it just, I soaked it in. It just absorbed it very naturally. So putting those together opened my healing gifts. So
Mhm.
that's how I began on the path of like using the healing gifts, and discovering so many things that opened up from that point. And I didn't really want to make this all about me, but I want to really emphasize that the thing that's beautiful about energy medicine is what I call it, because there's so many models available, and it's within our hands.
Mm.
It's
Mhm.
affected, uh, you know, just in our natural way that we put our hands to something when it hurts or when we have hurt ourselves, and whether we know it's there or not, it is.
Mhm.
And so then my love is to combine it with the mothering, because I had my children later, like 3 years after all this came to me.
Mhm.
And my kids grew up in that. And my son will be 50 this year in a few weeks. Um, and I see how it just helped their development, their acceptance of themselves, so many different things.
Yes, yes.
And and not only that, but my health was a focus, and it brought that health to the children. And that's the gift of all of it, to really have it be an offer for mothers that they can have that peace for
Mm.
themselves
Mhm.
and also their kids. So one of the things I have available on Facebook is Healthy Moms, Healthy World. And
Beautiful.
so we can drop the link for that, and moms can join. But really, I invite, again, coming from the motherhood aspect,
Mhm.
people my age. I just turned 73, and I'm connected to moms with grown children as much as I'm still connected with women, not just in home birth, but women who have young ones.
Yes.
because all of that gets to be included. And then the next project that I'm working on is um, having a way for mothers to connect near their home. In fact, through a vehicle, a particular style of van that includes being able to come, call the van, come to the curb, have the mother receive a treatment, and be there for an hour and a half at least to regain peace for
Mm,
herself
mhm.
and bring it back to her children who are inside the home with a babysitter provided with the service.
Yeah.
And they also get to be practicing, uh, for instance, a calming yoga
Mhm.
about, and kids love it because I used to teach that because they get to pretend they're different animals. And then that's where yoga came from, was watching the animals and how they always stretch when they, first get up from any sedentary position.
Yeah.
And with that, they also um, can have some, instruments to do a little playing with calming sounds of their
Oh,
own little sound bath.
that's beautiful.
So
Mother
then when they come together, then that's world peace right there.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that mothers need they need to be filled up a lot too. They need to be nourished
Mhm.
because the outpour is extreme, they give I mean, most mothers they give so much. They give all of themselves, not just,
Yeah.
a little. They give their whole being to these babies, to this child or children.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so I can see the value and the
Yes.
importance for mothers to be nurtured. And I think that this society doesn't quite understand how to support mothers because they need support. They need pillars. Like, if you think back in the day, we had villages and we had more
Yes.
community where, we watch your children for a day and then we watch these, we would kind of cooperate and create more community and pillars for support. And so this society really lacks support for mothers. And I
Yes.
and I can see like for my friends that have children and they even have a partner, but they're the full-time mother and there's hardly any space to breathe because there's not any
Mhm.
support around them. And I always say, well, I wish we lived closer because I would be happy to babysit. I would be so,
Oh, yeah.
but
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, but unfortunately we're all spread out. So um
Mhm.
that's the thing. So I feel like people need to create more communities too where they can
Mhm.
come together and just help each other and have a system that works so not all the stress is on one person, but they can have kind of a safe and beautiful community. But I love what you're building. This is amazing. And what's also exciting is that you are going to bring your beautiful mothering energy into our new poetry project. And I'm so excited about
Yeah.
that. Like, wow, we
That's the latest excitement. That's for sure. Yeah. And I just want to circle around to what you just said about mothering too, because you just brought up that piece of like, well, that part uh, that that mothers tend to like give so much that they forget that they're giving. They're so in the moment with their children, and this needs to happen, and that needs to happen, and we're going here and we're going there, and so they do. They get so stressed, and for them not to have to deal with that trying to fit in their schedule of when can I have some time for myself?
Mhm.
No, they get to have it right there by their home. And yeah, that's just the very beginning. They get to have some peace when they need it most.
Mm,
So I really love that. And then what's happening online is, that's where at least moms can connect there,
Mhm.
Um, and for me, it's like it's it takes something even for that kind of a connection. And absolutely moms need moms. And so at least that's happening in the world now a little more
Mhm.
than when I came into mothering, actually, we did create our own little tribe out of being, in home birth involvement. However, those pockets have also grown. So there's a individualness that is very easy to get into and not be supported
Mhm.
when so much is available to be supported. And it just can go over mothers' heads, like one more thing to squeeze in
Yeah.
instead of really experiencing what it is to be supported. Yeah. Plus, in the meantime, they're learning about their own health and how to take care of their families in a more healthful way,
Yeah.
not just through the peace, but through also keeping the family well uh, through their hands, the gifted, you know, place that we all humans contain
Mhm.
within. So,
You
yes. And to be able to bring that feminine aspect to the project that you're, creating now and that we get to do together is also the expression artistically, which is um, so needed for the human spirit. That's always needed as well.
Yes.
And so I just love all of it. It is just a really blessed life to be able to be expressing all of that with you.
Yes, I'm so excited that we're going to be collaborating on the Radiant Sutra Central Poetry Program, because I really I really look forward to having you bring in your beautiful wisdom and dropping us in at the beginning of each call, into our bodies, into
Mhm.
our feminine breath, into our feminine energy. Sometimes we just need to be reminded to soften and breathe
Yeah,
into divine feminine self. And that's, in this world, we become a little bit masculine in the sense of, we have both energies within us, but it's very, very important to nurture and nourish that feminine side, and that divine mother archetype, which is the nurturer, but also to nurture ourselves. And so we're going to be giving back to ourselves, at the
yeah,
start. And maybe you could just speak to that, what that might look like.
yeah. Thank you. I just think, the way I uh, foster that is to have us really connect within ourselves and then connect with Mother Earth. There's the feminine right there available. Um, and when this kind of a meditation happens, it's very visual and it becomes a journey. And the journey adds such a depth to, uh, let's say, meditation is the word. It deepens what's available, especially for uh, women.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think the book is, exclusively women. However, because, again, we're including humanity.
Yeah. Yes.
It's and while we're fostering that aspect um, of the feminine in both
Mm-hmm.
genders, and so we'll be connecting to Mother Earth in a profound way, usually connected to our own hearts. That connects us to nature as well.
Yes.
So that all of that wholeness is what we get to draw from.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's Mother Earth, but it's also Mother Nature. So we're following all of that and embodying all of that.
Mm, I'm so excited. I'm excited for this. I really am because it's such a deepening. It's also a softening. It's really a dropping into a next level space, and that is the container we are creating for this, is that it's going to be a soft, beautiful, nurturing, nourishing space. And we are going to dive into the Radiance Sutras too as our inspiration. Each class has a theme, and we will drop into those themes and really harness the energies of those in our poetry that we will be writing, that everyone joining will be writing. And so I really see how participants are going to come out of this with a beautiful collection of poetry. I mean, they're going to be very proud of their work and feel really, really good about it, as well as the opportunity to be in the upcoming poetry book. So there's just so
Mhm.
much possibility in this realm. And this is all about, this is also like the mother archetype, right? I mean, the mother
And
archetype.
yes,
So
absolutely.
the
Mhm.
creation mode. And so I'm really happy that you're part of this, and I think it's so important. um if once you're a mother, you're always a mother, and then you develop that beautiful wisdom from experience, life experience,
Mm.
and then bring that forward, and you can hold bigger space and share more of that reflection back to others on their journey. And so we really are excited about this. Thank you for joining us.
Oh gosh, that's absolutely an honor to be a part of. It just speaks to the spiritual poetry that is also a part of my practice.
Mhm,
Uh, writing daily and getting to have that expression shared, because it's up to this point, it's only been, you know, part of the healing journey for me.
mhm.
So I also get the healing that the course will be for others, like that's just a bonus.
Exactly, it is, and
Yeah.
that was the intention too when curating the course, was that there will be that healing aspect, but you know, it's just a natural organic part of it because it's a whole
Yes.
holistic practice, and therefore the benefits keep on going,
Yeah, and part of that journey is exploring the gift within our hands. That will be felt, and that will be part of the transformation each week, actually.
Mm.
So, yeah.
La 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 la. Well, I'm so excited, Selma. I'm excited that we get to play in this, and I'm excited for all of your personal projects that you're sharing, and supporting women at this time who are mothers and who are ready to receive. And that's the other piece, is that the divine feminine gives so much, and it's important to learn to receive, to open to receive, to soften to receive, and all of that. Receiving help is a big deal sometimes, and so making these things available is important so that others can also learn to receive. And as much as we give, we definitely need to learn to receive. So it's a full circle. So I'll put all the information below
Okay.
about your page and your offerings, and also our poetry group that we're doing, and it's going to be starting in September, you guys, and we do have an incredible early bird right now. So all that information is below. We thank you so much for joining us, Selma. Thank you, all of you, for joining this call, and we're just sending much love and blessings to you. Until next time, bye for now.